Hello there, Algebras, and welcome to your Chapter 1, Lesson 9 notes on dimensional analysis. Today we're just going to be converting between different units of measure. And so below is just like a list of all of our kind of quicker units of measure that we will be converting to. There's a few rounding things in here and that kind of stuff, but typically, like, these are some of the conversions that we can see some classic examples of going through between units is. So for example, like convert 1 foot into how many inches? So how many inches in 1 foot? As we already know, there are 12 inches in 1 foot. Convert 60 seconds into how many minutes? Well, that's 1 minute. Now, convert 1 gallon into ounces. That might be on the more challenging side. So what do? We say, okay, up to this list, here's 1 gallon. It's the same as 4 quarts. We need ounces. Okay, so we're looking for ounces. So now, wait a minute, what's 1 quart worth? Well, 1 quart is worth 2 pints. That's still not ounces. Now let's look at 1 pint is worth 2 cups. Still not ounces. And last but certainly not least, 1 cup is 8 fluid ounces. Finally, we got there. So how do we take this and get back from what was 1 gallon into how many ounces fits in that 1 gallon? Well, now let's take all of those values that we had. We had 1 gallon is 4 quarts times 1 quart is 2 pints times 1 pint is 2 cups times 1 cup is 8 fluid ounces. How many ounces in 1 gallon? 128 ounces. So that converting back and forth. All right. That's something you did before me. How are we going to apply this? Well, we apply this by looking at it proportionally. Okay? We say, if I want to convert feet per second into miles per hour, so a distance and a time, to another distance and another time, we need proportional relationships. Okay? So the first question we're looking at is from a former Regents exam question. You'll start to notice that the Regents has this specific font that it uses, and so a lot of times there'll be a screenshot of the Regents question that's in our notes so that we know this is where it came from. But what we're going to look at here is, okay, we started with 1 conversion, feet per day, and we need to move this into some other conversion. What are the units for the conversion? Notice we are multiplying. Well, 1 day is 24 hours. So by doing that, by multiplying days over days, we've canceled out, and now we're in feet per hour. Well, I want to know what that final unit is. So look, again, I take 24 hours is 1 day, so 1 hour is 60 minutes. Now hours cancels out, and now I'm left with minutes. And then look at this next conversion. Is it minutes over minutes? No. So actually, minutes stays down here. What is this one? It's 12 inches in 1 foot. Wait, where did we see feet already? Right over here. So the feet cancel out, and inches remain. What is the converted rate? Inches over minutes. Now, if I wanted to convert that numerically as well, I would multiply all the numbers on the top together and then multiply all the numbers on the bottom in the denominator together. And I would take this value, if you look in our graphing calculator, take this value, 864, and divide it by 1,440, and we get 0.6. Now, if we want that as a fraction, so how many inches per how many minutes, you could actually press math and notice fraction right here. So math enter, enter. It takes your previous answer and turns it into a fraction form. And notice we get 3 inches in 5 minutes. So that's how we can determine how fast that snail moves. So it's so interesting. We can use those proportional relationships, how these units compare, and we can multiply them together to convert our units into something that might be more understandable, might be more workable for us. Okay, typically the Regents, the way it asks kind of like this, where we see the proportionality out. We don't have to do that part ourselves. Let's flip to the next page and look at another example of this. Okay, now a company ships an average of 30,000 items each week. Okay, so this is items. So right now, you know, items per week, items over week. Okay. The approximate number of items shipped each minute is calculated using which conversion? Okay, so I want to go from items per week into items per minute. So I'm going to need minutes to be at the bottom of my final proportion. Okay, so if I look, the real key when you're looking is if you're trying to move out one of your units, it has to be the unit on top of the multiplied fraction. And you notice right off the bat here in choice 1 that weeks are on the same part of the fraction. So they haven't canceled out. So this can't be how we would convert that. Look at the next one and you do see that week over week gone. Now I'm at items per day. Okay. All right. Well, let's keep going. We want to go down to minutes, don't we? So days, 24 hours in a day. Hours, look what we have left on the bottom. Minutes, we got items per minute right here. Let me just show you. We wanted items per minute and we got it. That was what we wanted. Let me just show you what's wrong with the other two and why I can see that right away. Okay? Again, weeks on the same line. Bye. Okay, so look at this one. It's 1 week over 30 items. Did we want minutes per item? Or did we want items per minute? We needed minutes on the bottom. In this one, if you look, everything cancels out over, but you end up with minutes over items, and that is not what we were looking for. That's the inverse relationship. That's the reciprocal of what we wanted. So we wanted to make sure we had items per minute, and that's what we saw on choice 2. So why don't you take a peek at how I did this one, and again showed you the canceling in this one. And I want you to pause it and try these two down here. Former Regents questions right there. Again, looking at changing from the unit we're starting with to some ending unit. Each question does walk through what they want in the end. But I want you to see if you can read it, figure out what it's asking for, and cross off the one that doesn't work. Okay, so I want you to pause that right here, and I want you to give these a try. Okay, I will be right back. Okay, how did we do? On number 1, we should have picked choice 2. And on number 2, we should have picked choice 1. And so I took notes as I was going, right? Because that helps me to determine, okay, what do I have left? As I read, there was a lot going on with this swimmer, but at the very end, I want to convert her speed to miles per hour. So I'm specifically looking for miles per hour right down the line. Now, the first thing I notice is I've got same units on same line. That's not going to fly. That's not going to cancel those units to bring the next proportional relationship correctly. We've got to be units over units to cancel out, just like any number over itself to cancel out. So I did get miles per hour on 2. I noticed I have units canceling correctly here, but it only cancels me down to miles per minute. I needed miles per hour. Okay. Then I don't know what was happening here. We didn't have enough canceling, so this is like meter, mile per hour, foot, and that's not working for us. Not enough there to help us move down to just 1 unit over 1 unit. Number 2, I want to convert Tim's 4.5-hour run to run 50 kilometers into minutes per mile. I know that sounds weird, but just go with what they asked you to go to, right? Minutes per mile. So we need miles on the bottom and minutes on the top. And I know it feels weird to have time on the top, but we didn't get to choose what they wanted, right? We just have to find what they wanted. So I do find that right away. Everything cancels correctly, leaving me with minutes over miles. So that is choice 1, minutes per mile. I do notice that things cancel in choice 3, and it leaves me with miles per minute, which is what our default preference would be, but that's not what we were asked for. So that's the reason that number 3 isn't correct. And then, of course, the classic reasons why 2 and 4 weren't correct. Same unit on the same line doesn't work for us. That doesn't cancel the things that we needed to cancel. So I would like you to now use this to try and do your 1-9 homework. This is usually one multiple choice question on the Regents exam, so we do need to make sure that we kind of feel comfortable with this. We'll keep circling back to this as the year goes on to make sure we stay comfortable with it. But please make sure we try. Ask questions of me if you have them, and I will see you for our Chapter 1 exam review. We've finished all our Chapter 1 lessons. Time to review for our test. So good luck, my fine friends, and let me know if you need anything. Bye.